What are the mistakes that cost me free time and made me stay in the office longer? Like here are the 5 that or really scared me when we were awarded a job.
It always seems like time is your biggest constraint when you get an estimate. So, hey, this needs to be done, submitted by this time. I think I had a few young estimators, so I said, hey, I need my pipe estimate from you done by next Friday. And it probably was enough work to last them 4 days, but they made that work last until next Friday, right? Like they kind of seemingly said, oh, I can only get 2 pages done today. I'll be done, even though I might be able to get done early, double check my work. So that making your work last as long as you exactly need it really screws you up, because then all of a sudden that Thursday before you get an addendum to that estimate, and all of a sudden you have twice as much work and you have to finish it by the next day. It can really mess you up. I was on a project where the estimate takeoff was done in a site spreadsheet. At that time, our estimate tool was a spreadsheet, and things were not transferred over correctly. I ended up with less, 10% less money for my budget in concrete than I should have had, just because things weren't, punched in correctly. So I think that the takeaway here is you wouldn't skimp on the tools for your field people. So don't skimp on the tools for your estimators as well. Misapplying those productivity factors to build your estimate is a huge issue. First of all, we can go into account codes as much as we want to, but I think the thing is here, people assume that if I capture this correctly on one job, it automatically applies to that next estimate. So for instance, if it took me 5 man-hours per cubic yard of concrete to install foundations on this job, awesome. That applies to the next job. We're at 5 man-hours per cubic yard. Let's go. The biggest mistakes I see there are not accounting for job-specific variables. So what are the site conditions? Is it in addition to an existing power plant, for example? Is it brownfield? What's the complexity of it? So using non-account code driven complexity ratios, like formwork ratio when it comes to concrete, like fitting densities when it comes to pipe, average pull length with wire and cable. The things that you can't capture just through charging to the right code and having the right quantities on it in the field, but actually looking at these ratios that kind of drive the complexities of job. We had a power plant. We screwed up the steam turbine tabletop pour. Took a bunch of time and effort to get that out of there, reinstall it. The next power plant that we built was basically a carbon copy, and that kept coming up in our risk assessment, right? Okay, this is how much time and money, that was the impact of that giant screw up. And then the allocation for it was extra testing, don't do it again. Now we've let everybody know. So it was just very optimistic on, we told you not to do it again. You're not going to do it again. Don't worry about putting that inside of the estimate. Real world factors though, like environmental factors, supply chain factors, lessons learned, subcontractor performance, material shortages, craft availability. Everybody kind of looks through them with rose colored glasses when you're in the estimate, and it's never usually turns out the best. Doing a takeoff and applying a man-hour factor is not the same as performing an estimate. My best estimating manager was a surly, experienced gentleman that got under a lot of people's skin, but he always told me estimating is part science, part art. Right? I can't take an intern, tell him to do a pipe takeoff, apply a man-hour factor, and there's my estimate. It might not work that way. It's a lot better to have someone come in with the experience and actually be able to build the job in their mind and perform an estimate in that way.